Yo, 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 yo. We back at y'all. Fullest Corner Podcast. It's your boy Dub.
It's Kia. Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing today? Welcome into the Fullest Corner Podcast, where we don't give advice. We give experiences. The best experiences come from advice. I'm slurring my words today, so y'all be patient with me.
He still messed it up.
Yeah.
The best advice comes from experience.
There we go. Exactly. Exactly. That's what you got a woman for, you know what I mean? To right your wrongs. You know what I'm talking about? As y'all can see, this isn't our normal dwelling. This is a hotel. We're in Las Colinas. It's basically Irving, Texas. For those of you who aren't familiar with Texas, it's basically Dallas, Texas. We are here just enjoying our time and just getting away a little bit. No children.
Yes. Enjoying our time away from children.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I do not have a mic stand, and that's okay. I'm getting a workout. This thing is
it heavy?
It's pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But it's okay. I am prepared. I am ready. Let's get this episode started. So today, we wanted to discuss communication and the lack thereof, or do you communicate too much? So.
And your way of communication.
Absolutely.
Because that's can cause problems.
Most definitely. And by the way, Snapchat is great. Instagram is great. Facebook is great. But, guys, we got to start picking up the phone and calling each other, especially those of us that are in a relationship. You got to call each other. And that comes from two people who never call each other. We're horrible.
Listen, but yeah, and text messaging too, because yes, that is a easy form of communication. I don't know how many times we have been texting and we're taking each other out of context because you don't know people's tone behind the text message. That's what messes people up. Because I may say something and he feel like I got an attitude on it based on the conversation we having, maybe, I don't know, and vice versa, because I've done the same thing to him. I'm like, wait a minute, what you yelling for? How you yelling in a text message? How? But we just misunderstand each other because we can't hear the tone behind it. So then you got a whole attitude because you feel like your spouse done said something at the side of their neck when they really didn't.
Yeah.
They really didn't. And even when you're verbally communicating with each other, if you're not really hearing that person, it still can be misunderstood.
Yep.
Like you listening to respond and not listening to really hear what they saying.
Ooh, I like that. Listening to respond. Sometimes I feel like I do that quite often, and I'm listening. Most of the time, I'm listening to respond, but I'm listening to you. I'm taking in what you're saying, but I'm so glad that you brought that up because I think a lot of us, our minds are made up in any argument, any disagreement that we go into, and then it's just like, what did we really accomplish? You know, you're still stuck in your ways. I'm still stuck in mine. We did not reach a compromise. We didn't even agree to disagree, you know.
There was no understanding. Y'all just talking to be talking.
Absolutely. It's you're running the race to the end of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You just spinning your wheels. You know what I mean? Like communication is everything. You know what I mean? Communication is absolutely everything, especially in these times that we live in. You know,
And most of the time, this is a lesson that has to be learned the hard way.
Yep.
I feel like we had to learn this lesson the hard way because in the beginning, our communication sucked.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad, like really bad. And not till you recognize it and acknowledge it, can you start to improve it. But it was that where we was just, oh, we can talk about it, but I already know I'm right. So we just talking to be talking.
Yeah. And it's still got a lot of work to be done to it on both our ends, but it's crucial. And guys, you got to learn how to use, like, I don't want to say, I guess I got no choice but to say you got to use like sales tactics when it comes to your relationship. Let's say I want her to clean more in the household. You know what I mean? There's a way of going about it when you're a salesman. I'm not a salesman by any means, but when you're a salesman and you want to make a sale, usually you have to do the opposite of making a sale to a person. You got to ask them, "Hey, how are you doing? How's the weather? What happened to them raggedy ASS Cowboys last night?" You know what I'm saying? Little tidbits to soften up a person, to break the ice. You know what I'm saying? People think that you don't have to do these things in a relationship still, and you do. Why would I want to piss you off and then ask you on top of all of that? And trust me, guys, I do this all the time, but it's just in my nature and I need help.
You would all the time.
Basically, like, I don't soften you up and I just kind of go in.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, people literally, I don't understand it, but they'll just go into it like, hey, they'll gripe you out, and then it's like, hey, I need you to clean the house better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are human beings. We want to be treated. We want others to treat us how we want to be treated, and we need to treat others how we want to be treated, if that makes sense. But yeah, like, you got to go into these things like, hey, baby, like, you look beautiful today. What, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that has to be the end game is you asking for something or asking them to do something, but I will say just throw in a little bit of a little bit of you know what I'm saying?
Fluff.
A little fluff, yeah, a little puffing, yeah, and just don't just go completely in, because that's a good way to tear the communication aspect of your relationship down to the ground and to the skeleton of the body, if you will. And you definitely don't want to be there. You want some meat on the bones. You want, you know what I'm saying, some positivity flowing through all throughout that thing. You know what I mean?
And I know some people, like, communication can be hard, but if you and your spouse don't have good communication, you can't be scared to talk about the hard stuff, because if you are, y'all are never gonna have good communication. Like, nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Nobody wants to start a fight, but it shouldn't be that. If you love the person you with, and the person you with love you, it shouldn't be an argument because you have an issue or you just really got something you need heavy that you need to get off. Like, there has to be that window open to where we can talk about the hard stuff and it not feel like an attack, because, well, first of all, people have to be willing to welcome in good and bad. Like, just because I say, hey, when you do such and such, that bothers me or that hurts my feelings. If that person is automatically start puffing out their chest, well, you look, we need to sit down and work this out and, unravel this, because that shouldn't be a fight. Me telling you how I feel about something shouldn't be a fight.
Not at all. Not at all. And we know these things, they're going to happen regardless. But, yeah, I mean, communication, there's so many forms now. I said a good majority of them to begin the show with, and it's almost as if we have no excuse. You know what I mean? We have no excuse to not be communicating. We have no excuse to not be just open and honest about anything in a relationship.
Anything and everything.
Yes. However, you can't be like petty. You know what I'm saying? You can't be petty when it comes to these types of things. And you also have to consider the stage of a relationship that you're in. You know what I mean? I feel like people who are just starting to date and all that kind of stuff, maybe you should ease up on, someone having to constantly contact you. You know what I mean? You still getting the feel for a person. You still just vibing a little bit. And it's funny that, correct me if I'm wrong, but in most relationships that just start out, you're probably communicating, your communication peak. Mm-hmm. You're at your communication peak, right? Mm-hmm. And then it starts to dwindle down as you get more comfortable and the years start to roll by. You start to notice, dang, like, he don't call me like he used to. He don't text me good morning like he used to. When it actually should be the opposite, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the longer y'all are together, the more you should hear good morning. How you doing? But
yeah,
when the kids come into play, when the real life sets in, when the mortgages got to get paid, the car notes got to get paid.
Because we have to catch ourselves with that.
Most definitely. I don't know last time I text you good morning.
Well, because we see each other in the morning, but just throughout the day, we've done better here recently. But even if I just text him in the middle of the day just to tell him I love him, just little bits of communication throughout the day. Yes, I saw you this morning before we left the house. Most of the time. Sometimes he gone before I get up. And I'm hoping, praying that we both gonna make it home and I'm gonna see you at the end of the day. But that's the thing. I'm hoping that that's how it's gonna go at the end of the day.
We take stuff for granted.
Yeah. So me sending him just a I love you text in the middle of the day is better than me just us not having, or him vice versa, because he'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
It ain't even gotta be no long, drawn out conversation. Just something that simple, just to be like, okay, I'm thinking about you right now. Let me let you know that you on my mind, and I pray I see you at the end of the day.
Yep. And I brought up the whole us not calling each other because when she calls me, my heart kind of drops. Like, dang, is everything okay? I'm pretty sure with her, it's kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, why is he calling me? Why is she calling me? And that's not a good thing. Yeah. That just goes to show that we have to work on our communication. And, you just got to call for no reason. You got to call just to, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are some of the best conversations that we, that we have in life, are the ones that we just call. And
just because.
Yeah, just because. And, people should think about the relationships that you do have good communication with. I know with a lot of guys, they love their mama like cook food, but then their girlfriend or their wife or their significant other, whatever, they don't communicate with them like they communicate with their mom. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like a big issue. However, it's also a gauge for a person to see, okay, well, I communicate with my mom this good. I need to start working on this with my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you communicating with somebody really, really well, you may not know it. It may be your job. You know what I'm saying? You're an excellent communicator at your job, but then you go home and you know, you missed a mute. You know what I'm saying?
Or your friends, whoever.
Yeah, exactly.
And men, a woman is not ever gonna complain that you communicate too much. That is not gonna be a complaint. That is not going to be a complaint. So don't be fearful. Oh, I don't want to. Well, okay. Don't be in the beginning. Let me make it clear. In the beginning, there's a difference between communicating well and
Stalking,
or what is the word? Just doing too much. Clingy. There's a difference between the two. So no, she's not gonna complain if you are having good communication. But I would say in the beginning, I'm trying to make sure this is not finna hit me in my chin.
that stand sucks.
In the beginning, gauge it. Just don't do too much in the beginning. But you and your woman been together for years.
Yep.
She's not going to be complaining about you having good communication.
Absolutely.
So don't ever be fearful of that. Unless she just mean and don't want to talk.
And I don't know too many men who would be fearful of that. I know a lot of men that just wouldn't care. You know, they just like, it is what it is. I'm not a good communicator. Oh well. You know what I'm saying?
But then too, that takes away the guessing game. You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I wonder if she really like this or like that, or she really like me, or like if you communicate, you won't sit there and have to have these questions going off in your head. Because I know we do it. I've done it. I wonder if he mad because I did this, or communicate.
Yeah.
You don't have to be wondering if you communicate.
Absolutely. That's a great point. You don't have to be fearful of the knowing, of finding out the truth about something. You find it out, you find a solution. If it's not a solution, you agree to disagree, you move on, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't fix it or work it out if you don't talk about it. Because you're going to sit there and drive yourself crazy.
Absolutely.
Drive yourself insane trying to figure out what somebody else is thinking. We're not mind readers. You don't know what somebody else is thinking unless you ask them or they just willingly tell you. But don't sit there and wreck your brain trying to be a mind reader when that's not something you can do.
Absolutely. I'm going to give a quick analogy, and I hope I don't go too far with this analogy, but it's just the God honest truth. I'm approaching my mid-30s. Well, we both are. And you know what? We live in a state to where you can, carry a weapon on you. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Am I promoting violence? Absolutely not. I want us to live fruitful and just good lives. However, I got a family to protect, and now, I think about these things when we out in public with people out here shooting places up, and, folks will rob you, you know what I'm saying? Folks would, jump you and take your stuff. I'm not going to play with you. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna sit up and scrap with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for all that. I got to make it home. So if you know, and it's always present. That's all I'm going to say. And like I said, I'm not going to go back and forth about it as far as, okay, let's talk about this. No, ain't nothing to talk about. And I'm so extreme with that, and I feel like it's such a good thing in my life because it's like I know, okay, if somebody's trying to intimidate me or something like that, and I feel like it's not worth going to the trunk or going to my waistline, let it go. You know what I'm saying? Let him win. Let her win. It's not that serious. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to compare that to what we talking about, if what you're arguing about and what you're having a disagreement about isn't enough for y'all to go get that paperwork to turn it in and get the divorce, or for you to officially break up with them, just let it go. It's okay. You'll live another day. You know what I'm saying? To
Have that conversation.
have that conversation. Exactly. Like,
and that's a good point. Like, it is okay to walk away from a conversation and come back.
absolutely.
Like, if you feel like, because we didn't have to do this, where I'd be like, look, this is too much right now. It's too much right now. I'm done talking about it. If we gotta pick it up tomorrow, we gotta pick it up tomorrow. But right now, it's too much, and I'm not in the headspace. I don't want to do it.
And more likely than not, it's gonna be water under the bridge, y'all. It's gonna be like it almost never happened. 9 times out of 10.
And respect.
Because guess what? It's gonna be something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
It's gonna be something else you're gonna argue about.
Yeah.
Or you have a disagreement about.
And respect that person if they feel that way. If they feel like in this moment, I cannot have this conversation, let it be. Don't force somebody into a conversation that they're not ready to have. Yes, it'll have to be had, but it does not have to be had in this moment. And that's okay. Respect people's boundaries, respect people's feelings, respect people's mental health, respect people's opinions. Like, your spouse is a person. Yes, they are somebody you may have known for years and years, or whatever the case may be. They still a person. So give them that opportunity to say that and have that moment and have that time. Maybe I need to just prepare myself for this conversation before we just dive into it.
Absolutely. And to go back to the whole analogy, to break it down in simpler terms, guys, 9.99% of the time is something that you can get through.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to compare 9.9%, 99 point, I said 9.9.
We know what you're saying.
99.9, 99.9% of the time is something that you can let go. You know what I'm saying? That 0.1%, you know what I'm saying? If I get into an encounter with somebody, if we leave out this door right now, 99.9% of the time is something that I could let go. Me and my lady can walk away scot-free and everybody go about their day. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with relationships. Like 99.9% of the time, you can get through whatever it is that you're going through. I'd say 0.1, of course, everybody's percentages are different, obviously, with, heck, what is it, like a 50 chance you get divorced these days?
Yeah.
So, obviously, some people's numbers are a little off or more off than ours, but yeah, that's how I kind of look at things in life. Like 99.9% of the time, it's something that could be let go. And it's something that can be fixed.
And I feel like most of the time it's ego. Like, nobody wants to be wrong. If I back down, I'm admitting I'm wrong. No, first of all, somebody gonna be wrong, somebody gonna be right, depending on the conversation. Or there's no right or wrong. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But don't let your greediness to be right or prove your point make stuff worse than what it is.
Yep.
Because I feel like that's, most of the time, that's the case. You got either both of y'all or one of y'all are determined that y'all are right and there's no budging on it. And that's what causes it to escalate further than what it, I mean, it becomes about something that it wasn't even really about in the beginning.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. Get to bringing up old stuff and
yeah, or stuff
what
that
I'm
really
saying?
ain't even got nothing to do with what y'all are talking about. Like, and then you'll find yourself like, what was this even about?
Absolutely.
What was I even bothered about to begin with? Because it's just then turned into something crazy
Mm-hmm.
and unnecessary.
And I'll say too, make sure that you're not the only one communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that somebody is just communicating something to you and you're not communicating back, because
Yeah.
it's a lot of that goes on. Let's say, I'm always constantly telling Kia, you need to do this, you need to do that, blah, 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 blah. I'm just bossing her around basically. And she's just like, okay, all right, all right. Like, that's not real life, guys. You know what I'm
No.
saying? You got to have a mind of your own, and you got to, you know what I'm saying, stand up for yourself.
Oh,
you
that
know?
part.
So
That part, yes. And first of all, y'all can obviously see he's the talker of the two. So, in the beginning, it was a lot of him saying how he felt or what he needed or what he wanted, and it took me a while to really find my voice. Excuse me. In general, not even just in our relationship, but just in general. Like, I don't know. It took me a while, but I got there. So, I mean, if you're not a talkative person, you're not one to really just say how you feel or just whatever, just talk in general. Start slow. Just, I don't know. Just start slow. Just learn how to use your voice and say what it is that, or if something is bothering you, like, don't feel like you have to say it in a certain type of way. Let it out. Don't scream. Don't wait until it's to the point where you're ready to chop somebody's head off and just explode. But find a way to just let it out in a healthy way. Because, I mean, you got to get it out there. You got to open your mouth. You got to say what it is you want or what you need, how you feel. Okay. How you feel about a certain situation. Like, I didn't have, like I said, my mama was a single parent. So I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see that relationship, that communication between two people in a relationship. So when we did get together, I didn't know what that looked like or what that was supposed to look like. Cause that too, it ain't about how your parents did it or how your grandparents did it or your aunt and uncle did it. Like, you have to figure out how that's gonna look and work for. You have to figure out how that's gonna look and work for you and the person that you with. But you have to find your voice. You have to learn how to speak up for yourself and say how you feel, say what you want, say what you need. And being with somebody that likes to communicate, that it pulled it out of me. But at first,
hey, excuse me. And some people, if you don't communicate with them, they'll find something or someone to communicate to. So you always got to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? You never want to put that type of stuff at risk. And can you blame them? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't blame somebody who, and you see it all the time in relationships, especially with women. Like, I need attention. You know what I'm saying? He don't give me no attention. Guess what, fellas? You putting yourself at risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. Like, we got a friend, a mutual friend. His woman constantly tells him, literally constantly, how his friends do this and do that for their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally in front of people. She don't care. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because it's just like, I never been around somebody who was just so blunt and so honest about he ain't giving me this, he ain't giving me that, he ain't satisfying me here. I never seen that in my life. I never thought I would, but hey, here we are.
Because first of all, like we said, there's a way to do it. That is not the way. What y'all got going on should be between y'all. That is not for everybody. That's nobody's business. Unless y'all are going out, unless y'all going
she
out,
don't even know me like that. You know what I'm saying?
which makes it even worse. Like,
and I don't know her like that.
I would never disrespect him or our relationship like that to be just we in a group of people that we really don't know like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, he don't do this. I be asking him to do this and that, and he just don't. Like, what? First of all, if you got a list of things that you saying that you asking this person to do and they not doing it, and they not willing to do it, why you still there?
Exactly. I advise you to be alone or find somebody else. And that's why that's why I said some people usually go out and get that. And usually it's a temporary fix. Because you know what I'm saying?
Cheating is never going to be the answer. Cheating is never going to solve anybody's problem. Yeah, you might get what you want out of that person in that moment. But if you're still with this other person and you trying to figure it out, that's not going to help. That's going to make stuff worse. So not only is this person not meeting your needs, you're putting this other problem on top of that. You're just making it harder for y'all to get to where y'all are trying to get. What sense does that make?
Absolutely.
But if you divorce, there's a lot of people, when you grow up in the church, divorce is not supposed to be an option. But I feel like if you are in a situation where, first of all, if it's an abusive, toxic relationship, yes, get out, file them papers and run. Like, if your mental, emotional, physical health is in jeopardy because of the person that you are married to, no, and they're not willing to work on that and fix it and make it better, no, run. File them papers and run, because at the end of the day, your health, your safety, you are important. You are a priority.
Absolutely.
So if you are with somebody that's not willing to make things better for the both of you, no. If you got kids, grandkids, I don't care what the case may be, run.
And you ain't no kid. I mean, you're supposed to spare the rod on your children. Like, I don't know, for Bible readers, I don't know where it's saying in the Bible to spare the rod on your wife.
Or your husband. Like,
yeah, like what?
No.
What are we doing?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day that we will be covering. But yeah, you absolutely right. I mean, but it go back to what I said. Like, if it ain't that 0.1%, man, dude, just let it go.
Yeah.
Who cares? Move on. I promise you, this is what I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that something else is going to pop up. And something else is going to piss you off. And something else you're going to have another mishap with the communication. I can guarantee you of that. So.
And a person isn't going to know something that's bothering you if you don't tell them. So even with all that I just said, if you aren't telling that person that this is hurting you, this is making you hurting your feelings, is making you sad. If you're not telling them, you can't be mad at the fact that they're not doing nothing to change it, because you're not telling them how that's making you feel. So that's coming back on you. Find your voice, use it in a good way, find a healthy way to communicate that. But you can't be mad at somebody for not knowing something.
Absolutely.
Especially if you are early. Like, we done been together long enough to where I can tell when something is bothering him. His body language, I can tell. But we've just been around each other so long that I can tell when something is off.
Yeah.
But still, I can't pinpoint it if he don't tell me. Like, I don't know exactly what it is unless he tell me. Yes, I can tell something is wrong, but I don't know what, because if he don't tell me.
I done read many texts, many books, many things. I've yet to read a mind.
And
Have
we'll
you?
never. Nope, I have not.
Can't read a mind. Can't read a mind.
I
Can't read
might
a
feel
mind.
like I know what you thinking, but I don't. Or I might feel like I know how you feeling about something, but that's just me guessing. That's not me knowing.
Absolutely. I guess to wrap this episode up, I want to do a little deal. Give us an example of when we had a communication mishap.
I'm trying to think of something that's done happened.
There's plenty of things that have happened recently. It never stops, by the way.
I mean, us coming here, getting the kids situated, getting the daggone dog situated.
Yeah.
So previously, we've had our neighbor come in and just let the dog out, do this, that, So it's getting close to time to go, and we hadn't discussed it, which, that fall on us, both of us. We should have discussed it. And I'm like,
that fall on you.
Because we didn't discuss it, that fall on me?
I was supposed to take care of the kids. I did my job.
Oh.
That fall on you.
Well, the last time we went out of town, my auntie took care of the dog, but he kept getting out. So I was like, okay, we don't want to risk that, because if he end up gone,
yeah,
it's a whole different.
That'd be sad.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't know if the neighbor. I asked him. I was like, okay, so is neighbor gonna be doing for the dog, or
get that though, y'all? Get that. She asked me what I was gonna do with it.
No, I was just
like, it's my responsibility.
I wasn't asking him what he was gonna do with it. I was just asking if that was had that already been discussed, like if that was something you had planned on. He said no, or he didn't. He hadn't, whatever. I said, okay, so let me see if my mama or my sister can we can figure something out. And so that's what we did. But we weren't communicating. I was thinking, okay, maybe since this is what we have been doing, this is what we'll do this time. You can't do that. You gotta ask.
By the way, another one of my random wild statistics. I'm a sports guy, so I like to correlate things with statistics. This is a random opinionated statistic. I bet you 8 out of 10 arguments or disagreements or miscommunications are things that are just not that serious. You know what I'm saying? And things that always work themselves out. And I'm one of the biggest, I get irritated with stuff like that because I'm big on preparation, but at the same time too, everything always works itself out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta know how to have that happy medium, you know what I'm saying, of like knowing that more times than not, it's not that serious. But I'll give just a short example. Not recently, our son, he had like a 70 in Spanish or something like that. She's responsible for, kind of overseeing him with that. And only reason I found out was because the coach posted kids need to get their grades or their grades are about to come out. So in other words, it was a lack of communication on her part by not just kind of keeping me in the loop up until that point. So I didn't have to go off of what the coach said. And he didn't call our son out specifically or nothing. It wasn't nothing like that. He was just letting us know the grades were about to come out and, kids need to tighten up. So I seen it and I immediately hit her up because it reminded me, dang, what's going on with his grades? You know what I'm saying? And then she sent me everything and I'm like, you got to do that,
But
prior.
with that, I didn't tell him. Me and my child had already had a conversation. He was going to tutorials. He was working on
You need to just correct that. That's the problem right there.
our child. Me and our child.
A conversation that she didn't relay to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him that me and our son had already had a conversation about tutorials, grades, all of that. But because that's my duty to take care of it. So, but yes, that was on me for not communicating.
Absolutely, but if
him.
he would have failed the class, and then you coming to me telling me that, I'm like, you ain't even giving me a chance to help you out. Try to tell him, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. But like I said, guys, it's all minor stuff. It ain't nothing to serve up some papers and you know what I'm saying. It just ain't that serious. Now, if you dealing with a repeat offender, you know what I'm saying, that just constantly just can't, believe it or not, that's a form of abuse.
Oh yeah.
When you just constantly keep doing something and just neglecting somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a form of abuse, guys. That's a form of,
especially when they telling you.
Yeah.
They telling you. First of all, nobody should have to tell you. You know, I mean, nobody does. You know when you messing up. Because most of the time, you just don't care. People just don't care. Like, if it's something that's just nonstop.
Absolutely.
They know what they doing.
It's like having a child and not communicating with them at all, not even talking like you're deaf or something. You know what I mean? Let's give a scenario. Excuse me. And all you do is, like when they're a baby, when they was an infant, you drop them off to the babysitter or the daycare. You go to work. You pick them up from the daycare. You feed them. You put them to sleep. They become a toddler. You do the same thing. They get into school. That's all you do. You pick them up or drop them off, pick them up, feed them, go to sleep. That's a form of abuse. And that's what is going on in a lot of relationships these days. It's so dull and dry that there's just nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's just cookie cutter. Go to work, come home, eat, shower, go to sleep, do it over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's abuse in its most vivid
when you
form.
got somebody telling you they need more than that, and you like, nope, this is it. This is all you getting. Run.
Yup.
Run.
Yup. They ain't giving you no more. They done told you what they gonna give you.
And that's up to you. Like, if you gonna sit there and tolerate it, then you don't have no room to communicate that to somebody else how much you hate this relationship, because they done told you.
Absolutely.
They done told you, and you are choosing to not do anything about it. So don't be calling up homegirl or yo homeboy, man.
You the dummy that's still there.
Run.
So, yeah. Run like the wind.
Don't walk, run. And if you not, don't nobody want to hear about it.
We gonna get up out of here, y'all. This sun is beaming on our back, even though it's chilly out there right now. It is definitely chilly.
This sun feel good.
But yeah, we gonna get on with our day. We gonna go get us a little walk in. Maybe go to the farmer's market, do some old people stuff. You know what I'm saying?
30s is the new 40, I feel like.
Yeah, for us at least.
And look, we fine with that.
I think 30 is the new 50 for us. I know some of y'all getting y'all 30s in. Y'all turn the clock backwards. You know what I'm talking about?
We be chilling.
I'm hurting. Boy, my leg hurt right now. Got the sniffles. Boy, it's something else, man. Hey, thank y'all for joining. Hope y'all having a wonderful weekend. Y'all be on the lookout for us. We're gonna keep doing this. We ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? We gonna find a way to get this microphone in front of our face. You know what I'm saying? By any means, you know. So.
Yep. So yeah, y'all have a great day. Go have good communication. Speak up, say what you want, say what you need.
Absolutely.
And let it be.
Put it in the earth. If it ain't in the earth, it was never there. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. You ain't like that one liner?
I mean, that was a little different, but all right, look.
You got to put, what I'm basically saying, you got to put it in the earth. If it ain't in the earth, if you don't speak it into existence, it ain't there. It never happened. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. It never happened.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.